The rise of Bruno Mars, from Honolulu to global stardom. Peter Gene Hernandez, known to the world as Bruno Mars, was born on October 8, 1985, in Honolulu, Hawaii. Long before he became one of the most recognizable voices in modern pop music, he was a child growing up in a vibrant, musical household filled with rhythm, performance, and culture. His journey from a small island in the Pacific Ocean to international superstardom is a story of talent, discipline, resilience, and relentless passion. A childhood surrounded by music. Bruno Mars was born into a family where music was not just entertainment. It was a way of life. His father, Peter Hernandez, was a percussionist of Puerto Rican and Jewish descent, while his mother, Bernadette San Pedro Bayo, was a singer and dancer from the Philippines. Music flowed naturally in their home. From doo-wop to rock and roll, reggae to R&B. Young Peter absorbed diverse sounds that would later shape his signature style. He earned the nickname Bruno as a toddler because of his resemblance to wrestler Bruno Sammartino. The Mars was later added as a stage name, partly as a playful way to stand out and partly to avoid being stereotyped in the music industry. Even as a child, he had charisma and confidence. By the age of 4, he was already performing in his family's band, the Love Notes. He became known locally for his impressive impersonation of Elvis Presley, performing in shows across Hawaii with remarkable energy and stage presence. Growing up in Waikiki, Bruno performed almost nightly in front of tourists. While other children were playing outside, he was learning how to command a stage, engage an audience, and deliver a performance. These early experiences shaped his comfort under the spotlight. He was not just learning how to sing, he was learning how to entertain. Influences that shaped his sound. Bruno Mars' musical influences were broad and deeply rooted in the classics. As a child, he listened to artists such as Michael Jackson, Prince, Elvis Presley, the Beatles, and James Brown. From these legends, he absorbed key elements: showmanship, vocal precision, songwriting craft, and the importance of a strong visual identity. Michael Jackson influenced his smooth dance moves and polished performances. Prince inspired his bold creativity and musical versatility. James Brown taught him the power of rhythm and energy. These influences would later merge into a unique sound that blended pop, funk, R&B, soul, reggae, and rock. Unlike many artists who are shaped by one genre, Bruno Mars developed a multidimensional musical personality. He did not want to be confined to a single category. From an early age, he understood that timeless artists often combine styles rather than follow trends. Moving to Los Angeles, the big leap. After graduating from high school, Bruno made a life-changing decision. At just 17 years old, he moved from Hawaii to Los Angeles to pursue a music career. It was a bold move. He left behind the comfort of family and the familiarity of island life to chase a dream in one of the most competitive entertainment cities in the world. The transition was not easy. Despite his talent, the music industry did not immediately embrace him. Early record deals fell through. He faced rejection after rejection. At one point, he was signed to Motown Records, but the deal did not produce any releases. Instead of giving up, he shifted his focus. Bruno realized that if he could not immediately succeed as a performer, he could build a name as a songwriter and producer. This strategic decision would change everything. The Smeezingtons, behind-the-scenes success. In Los Angeles, Bruno Mars teamed up with Philip Lawrence and Ari Levine to form a production and songwriting team called the Smeezingtons. This collaboration allowed him to showcase his songwriting abilities and industry intelligence. Before the world knew him as a superstar singer, Bruno was quietly writing massive hits for other artists. He co-wrote and co-produced songs such as Nothing, On You for B.O.B. and Billionaire for Travie McCoy. Both songs became major hits and brought attention to his melodic hooks and catchy songwriting style. This period was crucial. Bruno learned the business side of music, how songs are structured, how hits are crafted, and how to work with major labels. He was building credibility. The industry began to recognize him not only as a talented singer, but also as a creative powerhouse behind the scenes. Breakthrough as a solo artist. In 2010, Bruno Mars stepped into the spotlight with his debut extended play, It's Better If You Don't Understand. Soon after, he released his first full studio album, Doo-Wops Hooligans. The album marked the true beginning of his global fame. The lead single, Just the Way You Are, became an international sensation. It topped charts worldwide and showcased his smooth vocals and romantic songwriting. The song was simple yet emotionally powerful, appealing to a wide audience. It demonstrated his ability to create music that felt personal yet universally relatable.
From this throne I play my song and melody for I have a feel called prisoner.
Solidified his status as a pop star. Grenade displayed emotional intensity and vocal strength, while the Lazy Song showed his playful, carefree personality. This range became one of his defining characteristics. He could be heartfelt, energetic, humorous, or soulful, depending on the moment. Doo-Wops Hooligans was a commercial triumph. It sold millions of copies worldwide and earned him multiple award nominations. More importantly, it established Bruno Mars as more than just a songwriter. He was now a leading voice in pop music, crafting a distinct identity. What separated Bruno Mars from many of his peers was his commitment to live performance excellence. He did not rely solely on studio production. He built a band, the Hooligans, and emphasized tight choreography, synchronized moves, and live instrumentation. His concerts felt like a celebration of classic showmanship, inspired by legends of the past. Bruno treated every performance as a full production. Matching suits, coordinated dance steps, and energetic stage presence became his signature. He also avoided following temporary trends. While many artists embraced electronic-heavy sounds in the early 2010s, Bruno focused on timeless melodies and real instruments. This decision helped his music age well and reach across generations. Second album and growing power. In 2012, he released his second studio album, Unorthodox Jukebox. The title itself reflected his artistic mindset. He did not want to fit into a single box. The album included hits like Locked Out of Heaven, which showcased a rock-influenced sound inspired by bands like The Police. The song topped charts globally and demonstrated his ability to experiment successfully. Another major hit from the album, When I Was Your Man, revealed a softer, more vulnerable side. The stripped-down piano ballad highlighted his vocal control and emotional depth. It became one of his most powerful songs, proving that he could captivate listeners without heavy production. With this album, Bruno Mars transitioned from rising star to established global icon. He was no longer just delivering catchy singles. He was shaping modern pop music. Super Bowl performance, a career milestone. One of the most defining moments of his career came in 2014 when he performed at the Super Bowl halftime show. This event is one of the biggest stages in the world, watched by hundreds of millions of viewers. Bruno's performance was explosive. He opened with a drum solo, showcasing his musical skill beyond singing. His energy, precision, and charisma captivated audiences worldwide. The show became one of the most watched halftime performances in history. This moment confirmed what fans already knew. Bruno Mars was not just a recording artist. He was a complete entertainer. Personal challenges and growth. Despite his success, Bruno Mars faced challenges. Early in his career, he dealt with legal issues and public scrutiny. However, he maintained a relatively private personal life compared to many celebrities. He focused on his craft and avoided unnecessary controversy. His resilience and discipline allowed him to stay consistent in a rapidly changing industry. Rather than rushing out albums, he took time to perfect his music. Quality over quantity became part of his brand, a unique musical formula. In 2012, Bruno Mars released his second studio album, Unorthodox Jukebox. The title itself suggested variety and unpredictability. He did not want to repeat the exact formula of his debut album. Instead, he pushed boundaries, experimenting with different genres and bolder sounds. The album's lead single, Locked Out of Heaven, marked a noticeable shift. Inspired by the energy of The Police and the charisma of classic rock frontmen, the track was upbeat, rhythmic, and electrifying. It soared to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and dominated radio stations worldwide. Another major hit, When I Was Your Man, showed his emotional depth. The piano-driven ballad featured raw vulnerability, proving that Mars could hold attention without heavy production. The simplicity of the arrangement highlighted his vocal strength and storytelling ability. Songs like Treasure paid tribute to disco and funk influences, showcasing his love for retro grooves. Instead of following trends, Bruno Mars revived them, reintroducing younger audiences to the sounds of the past while keeping them modern and exciting. Unorthodox Jukebox earned critical acclaim and commercial success, winning the Grammy Award for Best Pop Vocal Album. It confirmed that Mars was not a one-album wonder but a consistent force in the industry. The Super Bowl moment. In 2014, Bruno Mars achieved a milestone many artists only dream of. He headlined the Super Bowl halftime show. The Super Bowl is one of the most watched television events in the world, attracting over 100 million viewers. At just 28 years old, Mars became one of the youngest performers to headline the event. His performance was energetic, precise, and unforgettable. He opened with a drum solo, immediately establishing his musicality. With flawless choreography, live vocals, and incredible stage control, he proved that he belonged among the greatest entertainers. The performance was so successful that he was invited back in 2016, this time alongside Beyoncé and Coldplay. Few artists received that honor twice within such a short period. It was a clear sign that Bruno Mars had become a global entertainment powerhouse. 24K Magic, reviving funk for a new generation. In 2016, Bruno Mars released his third studio album, 24K Magic. This project marked a bold artistic shift. Instead of blending multiple genres, he fully embraced 1980s and 1990s funk, R&B, and new jack swing influences. The title track, 24K Magic, exploded with confidence and swagger. It was flashy, celebratory, and designed for dancing. The song felt like a time machine to the golden era of funk, but with modern polish. Then came That's What I Like, a smooth R&B anthem that became one of his biggest hits. It topped charts globally and won multiple Grammy Awards. The track highlighted his vocal agility and effortless charm. Perhaps the most culturally impactful song from the album was Finesse Remix, featuring Cardi B. The music video paid tribute to 1990s hip-hop aesthetics, bringing vibrant colors, retro outfits, and throwback energy to a new generation. At the 2018 Grammy Awards, 24K Magic dominated the night, winning Album of the Year, Record of the Year, and Song of the Year, among others. Bruno Mars became one of the few artists in history to win all three major categories in a single night. The achievement placed him among elite company in the music world, the perfectionist behind the scenes. While the world saw glamorous performances and hit songs, behind the scenes Bruno Mars was known as a perfectionist. He spent countless hours in the studio refining melodies, adjusting harmonies, and polishing production details. He believed in quality over speed. Unlike artists who release albums frequently, Mars took his time between projects. Each album felt carefully constructed rather than rushed. His dedication to craftsmanship helped maintain his reputation as a consistent hitmaker. He also valued live instrumentation. In an era dominated by digital production, he emphasized real musicianship. His band, the Hooligans, played a central role in shaping his sound. Their tight coordination and dynamic energy gave his music authenticity. Silk Sonic, a new chapter. In 2021, Bruno Mars surprised fans by forming a duo called Silk Sonic with Anderson .Paak. Together, they created a project heavily inspired by 1970s soul music. Their debut single, Leave the Door Open, became an instant hit. The smooth vocals, lush instrumentation, and romantic tone felt like a love letter to classic R&B. The song won multiple Grammy Awards, including Record of the Year. Silk Sonic showcased another dimension of Mars' artistry. It proved that he could collaborate, adapt, and still shine. The project wasn't about dominating charts alone, it was about celebrating musical heritage, global influence, and legacy. Bruno Mars' influence extends beyond sales and awards. He helped revive interest in funk, soul, and live band performance within mainstream pop. Younger artists began incorporating retro elements into their music, inspired by his success. His multicultural identity also broadened representation in global pop culture. As an artist with Puerto Rican and Filipino roots raised in Hawaii, he symbolized the power of diversity in the entertainment industry. he sold out arenas worldwide, from North America to Europe, Asia, and South America. His tours consistently ranked among the highest grossing. Fans admired not just his voice, but his ability to entertain completely. Singing, dancing, playing instruments, and engaging audiences. The private man behind the spotlight. Despite global fame, Bruno Mars has maintained a relatively private personal life. He focuses interviews primarily on music rather than controversy. This controlled public image helped him avoid many of the scandals that often surround celebrities. He has spoken about the importance of family, discipline, and gratitude. Losing his mother in 2013 was a deeply emotional moment for him, and he has referenced her influence in interviews and performances. The art of reinvention. One reason Bruno Mars remains highly searched worldwide is his ability to reinvent himself while staying authentic. Each era of his career has a distinct identity. The romantic pop star of Doo-Wops and Hooligans, the experimental risk-taker of Unorthodox Jukebox, the funk revivalist of 24K Magic, the soulful collaborator of Silk Sonic. Few artists balance commercial success with artistic credibility as effectively as he does. A lasting impact. As of the mid-2020s, Bruno Mars stands among the most successful entertainers of his generation, with multiple Grammy Awards, record-breaking tours, and billions of streams worldwide. His career reflects not only talent, but strategic growth. More importantly, he revived the idea of the complete entertainer, someone who sings live, dances with precision, plays instruments, writes songs, and commands a stage with confidence. From a small boy impersonating Elvis in Hawaii to headlining the biggest stages in the world, Bruno Mars' story is one of ambition, resilience, and artistic passion. His journey proves that superstardom is not just about fame, it is about preparation meeting opportunity. And as long as audiences crave rhythm, soul, and unforgettable performances, Bruno Mars' name will continue to shine among the brightest stars in global music history.